Well, my co host Charlie has three dogs. I have three dogs. So let's talk about dogs. We're dog lovers in Seattle. There is a place in Salem, Oregon where more than 200 rescue animals are living their best lives. Many of them rescued from the Humane Societies of Tacoma and Skagit County. We're talking dogs, cats, horses, goats, even pigs. And it's all thanks to the Asher House Animal Sanctuary. The man behind it is Lee Asher. He's joining us on Seattle's Morning News to talk about the mission. Welcome to the show, Lee.
My pleasure, Amanda. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so I had a video on, one of your videos on in the newsroom yesterday, and a colleague walked by and said, oh, look at all those dogs. They are in heaven. Oh, wait, they're following that guy. They just follow him around? And that property, where is that, Ireland? It is so beautiful. So just tell us about the Asher House and the property itself and how y'all got started.
Yeah, thank you. It really is heaven. It's the most magical. I think it's the most magical place in the world, especially for animals. I started the Asher House in 2017. There was, for me, I thought there was not enough information. There was not enough footage or not enough voices for the amazing dogs waiting to get adopted at the shelters all across the country. I felt like a lot of people weren't physically going to animal shelters because they were afraid of them and they were too sad, and they thought that the only dogs that were going to be there were either really sick or really aggressive. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I spent most of my childhood and my entire adult life going to the shelter as much as I could, pretty much every single day. And I felt responsible to share these dogs' voices and to show how amazing they are. And in 2017, I really just couldn't take it anymore, and I quit my job. I bought an RV. I sold everything that I had. I had six dogs at the time. They joined me on this Asher House mission, which was to travel around the country in its entirety and go to as many shelters as possible and show people all of these amazing dogs waiting to get adopted. And that's what I did. I thought I was going to be on the road for 90 days. It ended up becoming my life's purpose, and I was on the road for a little over 2 years. We got over 500 dogs adopted, and then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, I really formed this belief system that nothing in life happens to us. It happens for us. Our darkest moments, the worst days of our life, no matter how painful, there's so much growth there and so much opportunity. And when COVID happened, I was, lost for just a moment, because here I had this amazing mission. My social media was following. We were getting dogs adopted, but I could no longer go to shelters or travel around the country. I eventually wound up with 11 dogs. So I started with six. I adopted a few dogs along the way, and we went all over Canada. So my purpose was just getting started. And when COVID happened, I, for a moment, thought it was the end. And I said, why is this happening to me? But it happened for me, and it happened for the animals, because it inspired me to get off the road and start the Asher House Animal Sanctuary, which I did in 2020. It was in Estacada, Oregon, on 25 acres. We quickly outgrew it. And just 3 years ago this month, we moved to Salem, Oregon, 240 acres, where now we have over 150 dogs. We have over 30 horses, pigs, goats, alpacas. Really just building this childhood dream that I have to inspire people all over the world with one rescue at a time. And that's what we've been doing. And it's been nothing short of amazing. It's really magic.
Well, it's all about the animals, I know, but you yourself have become quite the star. You have 8 million followers on Facebook, 2 million on Insta. Can you just describe the property? It really is beautiful. And to say COVID started something brand new it's stunning.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to be really clear about it. It's amazing that we're able to talk about the property for what it is today, because one of the darkest moments in my career was trying to figure out how to pay for that property. I didn't use any of the nonprofit funds. I couldn't put the nonprofit at that sort of risk. And I put myself in immense debt and a lot of emotional and physical pain, a lot of sleepless. I knew that this was the place. Uh, Everything was overgrown. There were, there needed a significant amount of upkeep, and it was really hard to show people my vision. But I saw the potential of this place. I knew what it could do for animals, and the entire property is dedicated 100% to the animals, and that's what makes it so unique. So in a picture, you see this 240-acre property in this 11,000 square foot mansion, and you're like, wow, could you imagine living in a house like that? But at the same time, the house is 3 stories. The very bottom floor, 25 cats live in the entire bottom floor. They have a huge catio that is attached to the house, so the cats can be indoor, outdoor, and be safe. The second floor is entirely dedicated to the dogs, where we have over 100 dogs living in the house. And then the third floor is dedicated to the reptiles and the parrots. We have over 75 employees working day and night, helping us, take care of all the animals. And then the rest of the property, the dogs have 125 acres to free roam, explore, hike. There's a 15-acre pond. It's more of a lake. There's a 15-acre lake where the dogs get to swim every day. And it's in short, it's Disney World for animals. The rest of the property, we have 100 acres, an additional 120 acres dedicated for our farm animals, where we have alpacas, goats, horses, and an entire farm team dedicated just for those farm animals. So there isn't even office space. There isn't a single area of the property that's not 100% dedicated to giving these animals the best life possible. And it's exactly what I knew it could be, and it's just the beginning. It was a canvas. When we first moved to this property, there was only a house. There was nothing else, right? And now we have a 5,000 square foot quarantine facility called Lily's Lighthouse, so we could save even more animals. When we take in dogs from Washington or out of state or from the animal shelter, we quarantine them for 2 weeks. Lily's Lighthouse is one of the most beautiful quarantine facilities in the world, and they have their own committed staff to give them their own pack walks so they're not stuck in a quarantine cage all day. They have 40 acres to go on this pack walk, and it's just, there's so much detail and so much attention to every little thing. And we're still babies in this. We're still learning. We're doing something that is not being done. There's no blueprint for it. It's just me, this crazy kid with a vision, and I've been able to bring in the best of the best people to help bring this vision to life. And I truly couldn't do it. Like you say that I'm this star that has this following. I'm really good at telling these animal stories. I love people. There's a lot of animal rescuers out there. They always say I hate people, but I love animals, and I have no hate in my heart. It takes people, good people, to save animals, and I want to bring these people together and grow this mission, and hopefully get to a point where I can inspire others to use their money for what I use my money for, to buy land, to create sanctuaries, to give, and to help others. And it's just the beginning, and I couldn't do it without this community, without people like you who tell our story. And I really think we're onto something that's just truly world changing.
We're talking with Lee Asher of the Asher House in Salem. It is gorgeous. The animals are just thriving. Talk to me more about, in our limited time, talk to me more about the pack walks, because I think it's stunning to watch these dogs just follow you. Why do they respond to you the way they do? I've never seen anything like it.
It really is, and I feel incredibly grateful for that responsibility. The sanctuary really is a magical place. It's really interesting. If you watch these rescue videos, you can see not every dog, but not like 99% of the dogs that we get have severe behavioral issues, severe traumatic stories that have happened to them, and they come to the sanctuary and they feel the safety, they feel the peace. When I meet a dog, I get a lot of backlash for this because I hold the dog very tightly or I kiss the dog on the face. But my nothing I do is to impress the audience. My priority is making that dog feel safe and loved. And sometimes it's these dogs or these animals very first time being held like that, feeling love, feeling affection. And it's their very first time feeling safe. And once they do, they just don't want to leave my side. And when they see my relationship with the other dogs, they want more of that. And we become a very strong pack. And the dogs do a lot of work, right? The dogs are teaching the new dogs that I am safe, that the property is safe, that they can be themselves, they can run, they can be free, they can make mistakes. And, people always ask, how do your dogs not run away? And two things. One, the property is 100% fenced in. We have over $1 million invested in just our fencing alone. So if a dog did want to run away, it would obviously be quite difficult. But they don't want to run away. They don't try to run away because the pack is where they feel safe. The pack is where they can be free. And the pack is where they feel the most loved. And I'm with that pack 24/7. That, I don't, even if I run errands or I go on vacation, I bring a significant amount of dogs with me. So we really are one all the time. And that's why you see these beautiful pack walks of all of us together because we're just one big family and we move out as a family.
Talk to me more about the videos. What caught my attention is Rescue Day, where you travel up here to the Puget Sound area and go to Seattle Humane or Skagit Humane, Tacoma. Tell me how Rescue Day is.
Yeah, I do want to be clear, just so there's no misunderstanding. I'm a huge fan of Seattle Humane, and I have no doubt that we'll work together in the future. At this point in Washington, I've worked with some smaller rescues and shelters, but the main ones that I've worked with are Tacoma Humane and Skagit. I have yet to partner with Seattle Humane, and hopefully that'll happen one day. But they have a great organization, and I'm a fan of theirs. I'm really just this. I'm the same 5-year-old boy that I was, just trapped in this 6'5" hairy body. I am when I never got really excited as a kid going into a candy store, but I got really excited going into the shelter, and I still have that same enthusiasm and that same passion. When I was a kid, I made a promise when I went to the shelter that I was going to do everything I could to save as many dogs as possible. I felt very misunderstood and very alone as a child. I grew up with severe learning disabilities, so I didn't have any friends. I was in these special ed classes, and I would run away to the shelter where I felt I belonged. Here are all these dogs that were discarded that nobody wanted, and I felt like nobody wanted me and that I was discarded. So the shelter was my safe place. And it always made me feel comfortable, more than anywhere else, including home. So today, 34 years later, 35 years later, when I go to the shelter, all those feelings come back, but except this time, they're back with a significant amount of gratitude and the ability to actually take action, not just make the promise, but now I'm in a situation in my life where I could actually save the dogs that I made the promise to. And there isn't anything in my life that excites me more. I'm very lucky to have a fiance, my beautiful fiance Sarah, who not only understands that but loves that about me. Where there is nothing that will bring me more joy than going to an animal shelter and saving dogs or cats or whatever I can.
We are just about out of time, but I do want to ask, can I come along next time you're in town for a rescue day?
Without question, I've had a few people join me, and it makes me so happy that they're able to see how authentic and beautiful that experience is, because you're walking through the shelters and you're seeing these dogs who have no idea why they're there and they just want to be free, and you're able to be a part of that experience, and there truly is nothing like it. So I would love you to be a part of it. You have amazing energy. I think you're an awesome human being already. And you can come on as many as you'd like, Manda, truly.
Before I let you go, I have to ask how you start most of your videos, because your light shines through. And you always say, go ahead.
I hope you have a beautiful day.
Hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you do too, and I hope we can chat again soon. If you'd like to help the Asher House, just go to theasherhouse.com. What's one thing, Lee, you want people to know about dogs who are in the shelter, about rescue dogs, that maybe they don't?
You know, I'd like to answer that with something else, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And just remember that every single person next to you has gone through a really hard time. And the people on social media, if you see a comment that bothers you, if someone cuts you off, your energy is a dictation of the way the world works. And it's really important that every single person does their part to show grace, to forgive, to show kindness, whether it's to animals or people, because that is the only way that we're going to see improvement, whether it's animal welfare or the violence in the world. We need to do our part, no matter what we're going through, to remember that everyone around us, the people, the dogs, the souls around us are our neighbors, and they deserve love no matter what pain you're experiencing.
Thanks for your time this morning. I hope you have a beautiful day, Lee.
You too, Nana. Thank you.
All right. It's the Asher House in Salem. Again, theasherhouse.com.